Nobody knew that the homeless veteran living on Denver's 16th Street Mall for 3 years was actually a CIA legend conducting the agency's most dangerous deep cover operation. And this Christmas Day, the lives of 2,000 innocent people depended on him revealing his true identity. Benjamin Ghost Crawford had been playing the role of a homeless veteran on Denver's 16th Street Mall for 3 years. At 47, with graying hair, a worn military jacket, and always quiet, Ben was just Crazy Ben to those around him. The man who sat in the corner, occasionally spoke, and was mostly ignored. But nobody knew who Ben really was. Benjamin Crawford was one of the CIA's most elite deep cover operatives. For the past 3 years, he had been monitoring international terrorist cell activities in the Denver metropolitan area, living as an invisible ghost. The homeless veteran identity was perfect cover. Nobody saw homeless people. Nobody asked them questions. Nobody wondered what they knew. That Christmas Eve morning, Ben sat in his usual corner. 16th Street Mall was packed with Christmas shoppers, families, children, tourists, a perfect target. Ben's trained ear caught the conversation of three men. They were speaking Arabic, but Ben was fluent after 8 years of duty in the Middle East. And the words he heard froze his blood. Smash that like button. Every like helps us share more hidden hero stories. Drop a comment and tell us, have you ever seen homeless veterans in your area? What did you think of Benjamin's 3-year sacrifice? Do you think there are hidden heroes around you? Subscribe for more incredible stories about real military veterans finding new purpose. Hidden heroes in everyday life. Amazing people protecting their communities. Please share this story with military families and veteran supporters, anyone who cares about social issues. People who love hero stories. This is where everything changed. Tomorrow afternoon, the man was saying, for Allah's blessing. The Great Strike. ADs at 3 different locations. Maximum civilian casualties. Ben's hand automatically went to his old radio, but stopped. He had maintained perfect cover for 3 years. One movement, one signal could blow his cover, but 2,000 innocent people would be in this mall tomorrow. Ben quietly rose and followed the men. 3 years of surveillance training was perfect. He could move as an invisible man. The men went to the metro station, separated in different directions. Ben followed one, to a downtown parking garage. Truck full of explosives. Professional setup. This wasn't an amateur operation. But you haven't seen the biggest surprise yet. Ben pulled out his secure phone. Homeless veterans don't have phones, but Ben took a strategic risk. Control, this is Ghost. Priority Alpha. Multiple IED threat. Downtown Denver. Mall, hotel, convention center. Tomorrow, 1400 hours. Ghost? Ben, you've been dark for 6 months. Are you compromised? Negative. Deep cover maintained. But we have imminent mass casualty situation. Need immediate support. Ben, extraction team can be there in 4 hours. Get out now. Ben looked around. Families walking. Children laughing. People preparing for Christmas. Tomorrow would be a massacre. Negative control. I'm staying operational. These people don't know their targets. Now, what you're seeing is nothing. Ben spent the night conducting reconnaissance. 3 years of street knowledge gave him an advantage. Every building, every exit, every security camera. He knew the mall's layout, as well as a CIA architect. Targets confirmed. Mall's main entrance, Hyatt Hotel lobby, Colorado Convention Center. All three would explode simultaneously for maximum panic and casualties. Christmas morning, Ben maintained his normal routine. Coffee shop owner Maria gave him free coffee every morning. "Merry Christmas, Ben," said Maria. "You staying warm out there?" Ben looked at her. Kind woman. Single mother. Working Christmas to support her daughter. She could be dead tomorrow. "Maria," Ben said carefully, "tomorrow you should take the day off. Visit family out of town." Maria was surprised. "Ben, you never give advice. You feeling okay?" "Just trust me. Take your daughter somewhere safe tomorrow." Wait a minute. Don't miss this detail. In Ben's neighborhood, there were other homeless veterans. Tommy, Vietnam vet, PTSD. Rodriguez, Gulf War disabled. Sarah, Iraq vet, addiction recovery. For 3 years, they had been his family. "Listen up," Ben called a small group meeting. "Tomorrow, Christmas Day, you all need to be away from downtown. All of you." Tommy was suspicious. "Ben, you've been acting weird. You sure you're just a homeless vet like us?" Ben looked at their faces. People who trusted him, who'd shared food, warmth, stories. "Tommy, I can't explain. But these 3 years, you've been my family. I won't let anything happen to you." Sarah studied Ben's face. "There's something different about you. The way you watch things. The way you move. You're not really one of us, are you? You won't believe this, but..." Ben made a decision. Partial truth. "I am a veteran. Special operations. But I'm also working." Rodriguez understood first. "You're undercover. Law enforcement? Something like that. And tomorrow, bad people plan to hurt good people. So please, all of you, be somewhere else." Tommy nodded slowly. "We trust you, Ben. You've never lied to us." "I'm not lying now. This is real. You haven't seen the biggest surprise yet." Christmas Day, 1 o'clock p.m. Ben positioned himself at the mall entrance. Families were streaming in for after-Christmas sales. Perfect terrorist target. Ben spotted the first bomber. Young man, nervous, backpack heavy, sweating despite cold weather. Ben's training immediately kicked in. Body language analysis, threat assessment, tactical positioning. Ben approached casually. Homeless veteran asking for spare change. "Hey, buddy, spare some change for Christmas?" The bomber was nervous, trying to avoid eye contact. "No, sorry, man." Ben got close enough to confirm suicide vest under jacket, dead man's switch in left hand. But the most shocking part was, Ben had seconds to act. The mall was crowded, hundreds of families, children everywhere. Security guards were too far away. Police response time too long. Ben dropped the homeless act completely. His voice changed to command authority. "Sir, I need you to listen carefully. You're about to make the biggest mistake of your life." The bomber was shocked. "What? Who are you?" "Someone who's going to give you a chance to walk away. But first, give me the detonator." The bomber panicked, reached for the trigger. Ben moved with special operations speed. 3 years of looking disabled melted away as he disarmed the bomber with textbook precision. Here was the real plan. Ben simultaneously contacted backup teams at the other 2 locations while restraining the first bomber. "Control, this is Ghost. Package secured at location Alpha. Need immediate response at Bravo and Charlie." Ghost. "Teams are moving. Outstanding work." Not over yet. This was a coordinated attack. But then something unexpected happened. Mall security arrived, saw a homeless man restraining a well-dressed bomber. Confusion everywhere. "Sir, step away from the suspect," security shouted at Ben. Ben raised his hands but kept the bomber controlled. Officer, I'm a federal agent. This man has an explosive device. Call FBI immediately. Security was skeptical. You? You're the homeless guy. Ben's cover was completely blown. 3 years of deep cover destroyed in 30 seconds. But 2,000 lives were safe. Not today, I'm not. But then, everything changed. FBI arrived within minutes. Ben's handler, Agent Martinez, cleared the confusion. This is Agent Benjamin Crawford, CIA Special Operations. He's been undercover for 3 years. A mall crowd gathered, watching the homeless veteran revealed as a federal agent. Phones were recording, news crews arriving. The mall manager approached Ben. Sir, we never knew. You've been here 3 years. You thought I was just another homeless vet. That was the point. You won't believe what happened. Media frenzy exploded. Homeless hero stops Christmas terror attack. Ben's cover was completely blown, but the mission was successful. Tommy, Rodriguez, and Sarah approached through the crowd. Ben, all this time, I'm still your friend, Ben said. That part was never fake. Sarah smiled. We know. You shared your last dollar with us. Fake agents don't do that. When the final move came, Ben's handler offered extraction, new identity, different assignment. Crawford, your cover's blown. Time for a new life. Ben looked around the mall. Families safe, children playing. Maria's coffee shop busy with customers. 3 years of connections, real relationships. Actually, sir, I think I'd like to stay. Stay? As what? Your legend is destroyed. Ben smiled. As Benjamin Crawford, former CIA, current community member, these people, they're not just my mission anymore. They're my family. 6 months later, Ben worked as a security consultant for Downtown Denver Partnership. No more Homeless Act, but same corner, same community. At Maria's coffee shop. Ben, usual coffee? Thanks, Maria, and thank you for trusting me that day. You saved my daughter's life. I trust you completely. But the real ending was this. Tommy still lived on the streets, but now had support. Ben, you hiring more security consultants? You interested? Vietnam taught me a few things about watching for trouble. Ben realized military experience was everywhere, hidden in plain sight. Veterans on streets weren't just casualties of war, but potential assets for peace. He started a program, Street Guardian Initiative. Homeless veterans trained as community security, given purpose, dignity, income. The transformation had been remarkable. Within a year, dozens of former homeless veterans worked as community security throughout Denver. They understood the streets, noticed what others missed, protected what others took for granted. Ben still sat on his corner, but now people saw him. Not as a homeless veteran, but as the guardian who chose to stay visible after years of being invisible. Because sometimes the greatest service is simply being present when others need protection. Final words. Sometimes the most invisible people see the most. Ben Crawford learned that being homeless didn't make him worthless. It made him invisible. And invisible people can protect visible ones. The man who spent 3 years being ignored became the man nobody could forget. Proof that heroes don't need recognition to be heroic. But sometimes recognition helps them help others. And every Christmas, when families walk safely through 16th Street Mall, a few remember the invisible man who chose to become visible at exactly the right moment, saving not just their lives, but their faith in the unseen guardians who watch over us all. The months following the Christmas Day incident brought profound changes to Ben's understanding of his role in the community. As news of his heroic actions spread across the nation, he found himself at the center of conversations about veteran homelessness, undercover operations, and the hidden heroes living among us. Dr. Patricia Williams, a psychologist specializing in veteran trauma, reached out to Ben shortly after the incident. "Benjamin, your story represents something extraordinary," she explained during their first meeting. "You've shown that military service doesn't end when someone leaves the uniform behind, and that circumstances don't define a person's worth or capability." Ben had initially been reluctant to speak publicly about his experience, but Dr. Williams helped him understand the broader impact his story could have. "There are thousands of veterans struggling with homelessness across America," she continued. "Your example shows that these aren't just people who need help. They're assets, protectors, guardians who continue to serve even when society overlooks them." The Denver Police Department approached Ben about consulting on community policing initiatives. Chief Robert Martinez explained, "Your 3 years on the streets gave you insights that our officers, with all their training, simply don't have. You understand the rhythm of the city, the patterns of behavior, the subtle signs that something isn't right." Ben's first assignment involved training officers to better recognize and interact with the homeless community. "These aren't just people to move along," Ben told a class of rookie cops. "They're your eyes and ears. They see everything that happens on these streets. Treat them with dignity, build relationships, and you'll have the best intelligence network in the city." Maria's coffee shop had become an unofficial headquarters for the Street Guardian Initiative. Every morning, former homeless veterans would gather to receive their assignments, share information, and support each other's transition back into productive roles in society. "Ben," Maria said one morning as she poured his usual coffee, "you've changed this whole neighborhood. People feel safer, business is better, and these men and women have hope again." Tommy had been Ben's first success story. The Vietnam veteran had struggled with PTSD and addiction for decades. But the structure and purpose of the security work had given him something to focus on besides his trauma. "Never thought I'd wear a uniform again," Tommy told Ben. "Even if it's just a security shirt, it feels good to serve." Rodriguez, the Gulf War veteran who used a wheelchair due to his service-connected disabilities, had found his niche in surveillance and communication. "Turns out being in a wheelchair makes you invisible too," he laughed. "People don't suspect the guy in the wheelchair is watching for trouble." Sarah, the Iraq veteran who had battled addiction, became Ben's liaison with women's shelters and services. "Female veterans face unique challenges," she explained. "We're often invisible, even within the veteran community. But we're out here, and we're capable of protecting others too." The success of the Street Guardian Initiative caught the attention of federal agencies. Ben received a call from his former CIA handler with an unexpected proposition. "Crawford, we want to expand this program nationally. Your model could revolutionize how we approach both veteran homelessness and community security." Ben was intrigued, but cautious. "I won't let this become just another government program that looks good on paper, but doesn't actually help people." "That's exactly why we need you running it," Agent Martinez replied. "You understand both sides, the operational requirements and the human cost. You've lived it." The program expansion brought Ben to Washington, D.C., where he testified before Congress about veteran homelessness and the potential of the street guardian model. Senators, he said, addressing the committee, when we send people to war, we're not just training soldiers. We're creating guardians, protectors, people with skills and dedication that don't disappear when they come home. The question isn't whether they're capable of continuing to serve. It's whether we're capable of giving them the opportunity. Senator Elizabeth Hayes, who chaired the Veterans Affairs Committee, was particularly moved by Ben's testimony. Mr. Crawford, your program addresses veteran homelessness not as a charity case, but as a resource deployment issue. You're not just helping veterans, you're helping communities. The national rollout of the Street Guardian Initiative began in 12 cities, each adapted to local needs and conditions. Ben insisted that every program be run by formerly homeless veterans, ensuring authenticity and understanding. You can't help people transition out of homelessness if you've never been there yourself, he maintained. Back in Denver, the original program continued to evolve. Ben had established partnerships with local businesses who were eager to hire veterans with security training and street knowledge. The program had an 89% success rate in moving participants from homelessness to stable housing and employment. One evening, as Ben made his rounds through downtown Denver, he encountered a new face, a young veteran, clearly struggling, sitting in the same corner where Ben had spent 3 years. The cycle was beginning again, but now there was a system in place to catch those who fell through the cracks. "Hey there," Ben said, approaching the young man. "I'm Ben. I used to sit right where you're sitting." The veteran looked up, wary but curious. "Yeah, what happened?" "Found out that being invisible doesn't mean being worthless. And sometimes the people society overlooks are exactly the ones it needs most." Ben handed him a card for the Street Guardian Initiative. "If you're interested in continuing to serve your country, just in a different way, give this number a call." As Ben walked away, he reflected on the journey from deep cover, operative, to community guardian. The skills were the same: observation, protection, service, but the mission had evolved. Instead of protecting national security secrets, he was protecting the most vulnerable members of society. Instead of operating in shadow, he was bringing others into the light. The Christmas lights were going up around 16th Street Mall again, marking the first anniversary of the incident that changed everything. Families walked safely through the area. Children played. People went about their lives without fear. And invisible guardians, no longer homeless but still watchful, continued their quiet service. Ben had learned that true heroism isn't about dramatic moments of action, though those matter too. It's about the daily choice to use whatever skills and resources you have to protect and serve others, regardless of recognition or reward. The invisible guardian had become visible, but more importantly, he had made others visible too, proving that in America, the people we overlook might just be the ones keeping us safe.